Due to the long-lasting effects that childhood trauma has on the emotional, cognitive, and interpersonal development of children, it can significantly contribute to feelings of insecurity in a variety of ways. The emotional connection that develops between a child and their primary caregiver, usually a parent or guardian, is referred to as attachment. A kid who experiences secure attachment feels comfortable, supported, and appreciated by their caregiver. The disruption of solid bonds throughout childhood can have a significant negative impact on emotional well-being and create feelings of insecurity. When a kid has a stable connection, their caretakers regularly address both their emotional and physical needs, creating a secure and predictable environment. When these requirements are not regularly addressed, the child develops an insecure connection because they question the availability and dependability of their caregiver. Childhood trauma can leave people with insecure attachment patterns that affect how they establish and develop relationships as adults. They could have trouble expressing demands clearly and suffer from intimacy and rejection anxiety. It is frequently necessary to receive therapy treatment in order to recover from disturbed connections and the ensuing emotions of insecurity. You can examine your attachment patterns, create healthy relationship dynamics, and strengthen your sense of self by working with a therapist who specializes in attachment difficulties. It's critical to keep in mind that your experiences are real and that asking for assistance is a crucial first step on the road to recovery and living a more fulfilled life. Negative experiences and trauma in childhood can result in low self-esteem. It entails having a poor opinion of oneself, feeling unworthy, and having trouble appreciating one's value. Numerous factors, including childhood trauma, might influence how low self-esteem develops. Childhood trauma can skew one's image of oneself, causing one to see oneself through the prism of one's painful experiences. This distorted viewpoint may make one feel inherently defective. As a result of potential fears of rejection or failure, people with low self-esteem may engage in avoidance behaviors. Their reluctance to take risks or seize chances may be a result of this avoidance. It's critical to understand that low self-esteem is a learned reaction to negative experiences rather than an indication of intrinsic value. You can get advice and techniques to construct a better self-concept and self-esteem by seeking professional assistance from a therapist skilled in trauma and self-esteem difficulties. Emotions that have not been sufficiently processed or integrated owing to a variety of circumstances, including traumatic events, are referred to as unresolved emotions. A variety of deep and complicated emotions that may not have been completely recognized, acknowledged, or controlled at the time might result from childhood trauma. These unresolved feelings can still have an impact on people well into adulthood. People may repress their feelings as a coping tactic after terrible experiences in order to live or protect themselves. Later, these repressed feelings may arise and affect how we react emotionally to certain circumstances. Physical symptoms such as headaches, muscular tension, stomach aches, or weariness might be a result of unresolved emotions. Because of the mind-body link, emotional anguish can affect one's physical health. Unresolved feelings may be a factor in reenactment behaviors, in which people unintentionally reproduce circumstances similar to the initial trauma. This can be an effort to take charge or find a solution. A typical psychological reaction to childhood trauma, notably neglect, inconsistent parenting, or changes in attachment bonds, is fear of abandonment. On emotional health, relationships, and self-esteem, this dread may have a long-term impact. People who are afraid of abandonment may constantly seek approval and comfort from others. The concern that they are unworthy of love or care may be the root of this desire for affirmation. You may address unresolved trauma, comprehend the causes of your fear of abandonment, and create healthy coping skills by working with a therapist. Keep in mind that fear of abandonment is a legitimate reaction to prior events and that seeking support is a crucial first step toward recovery. You may get advice, resources, and methods from a therapist who specializes in trauma and attachment issues to help you overcome this anxiety, create better relationships, and develop a greater sense of self-worth. Childhood trauma can have serious effects, including impaired self-identity, sometimes known as identity disturbance or identity difficulties. It is characterized by a lack of coherence and clarity in one's sense of self, which causes feelings of disorientation, emptiness, and a disjointed self-concept. Childhood trauma can prevent a person from developing a strong sense of self, which can have an effect on many other areas of their life. Trauma can shatter aspects of the self, creating a sensation of separation or splintering. Integrating various aspects of one's identity may be difficult as a result of this fragmentation. Trauma during childhood can cause a loss of innocence and an early introduction to adult worries. This may have an effect on how people see themselves in relation to other people and the wider world. People who have experienced trauma may develop coping mechanisms to help them survive, such as numbness or dissociation. These tactics may obstruct the formation of a strong identity. Remember that diminished self-identity is a reaction to traumatic situations and that getting help is essential for recovery. You can get direction, resources, and methods from a therapist or counselor with experience in trauma and identity issues to help you overcome these difficulties and create a more coherent and true sense of who you are.